Dave, congratulations. Back-to-back wins to start the season, but you really had to dig in deep those last 30 minutes or so.
Yeah, we did. We were under the cosh. Listen, I suppose it's where we're at the moment. It's like we're a little bit short, especially in terms of the bench and the changes that we can make. We go into the game knowing that Joe's probably only going to last 60 minutes at best. So you have to make a change there. We probably can't change our shape because of the personnel we have. We had Malik on the bench. But he did a fitness test before the game, so he was always going to be a needs must really, and we didn't want to risk anything. And then we've got some younger lads, so yeah, we've had to dig in. Credit to Wycombe, the changes they made changed the dynamic of the game. They're obviously chasing it 2-0 and putting more bodies forward, so we're naturally going to be under the pump a little bit. Ideally, I'd want us to be better in possession and be able to have a little bit more control, but that wasn't the case. And we've had to ride our luck. Let's be very clear. Penalty that's hit the post, and other occasions where we're having to defend our goal. But for us not being at our best, to have 6 points is a huge positive.
And on the flip side of that, how pleased were you with what you did see in the first hour or so? Because in and out of possession, County, there was an element of control about it.
There was, which again credit to the players, because this game was always going to be a little bit different because of how Wycombe set up in possession, out of possession. They defend with a 4 and attack with a 3, similar to ourselves. So it did become about control and what you could do with that. We managed that really well. It had a little bit early on in the game, a little bit of a first game of the season vibe with the weather, and I suppose you're thinking at the back end, teams potentially will tire. That's when you want to have the control. To be fair to us, we probably had the control for the first 60 minutes and lost the handle on that for the last bit, which we've got to learn from. So again, I suppose what happens then is you have a back line, and to be fair, our back line is a new back line, and we didn't deal with things, in my opinion, as well as we could have, which put us under pressure. But again, that's always going to be a work in progress. We're 2 games in with players that, I say, have just come into the building. We hopefully will have some reinforcements over the next week or so. But again, there'll be new players at the back end, and we'll have to get them up to speed as quickly as possible.
A lot of space in the wide areas for you today, in particular for Jack Diamond to exploit in that first half. Was that sort of how you envisaged the game going?
Well, we knew that they'd build with a 3. So, as is the case with us, if you turn the ball over, then you're naturally really strong through the middle of the pitch. They're a 3 diamond 3, so they're naturally really strong through the middle of the pitch, and the space is wide. So we knew that would give us some opportunities, but you've got to be good and I suppose efficient when you get those opportunities. Jack early on in the game got some chances, some 1v1s against defenders where he could do a bit better, but he's done brilliantly with the goal. It looked like he'd made the wrong decision, but then decided to stick it in the top corner. So like I spoke about last week, great for him to get off the mark. Obviously what's to get another one is brilliant for us, and long may that continue.
And I guess the buzzword with Jack is confidence right now, because at times last season he may not have even attempted to take that shot, but full of confidence at the minute.
No, listen, I don't think Jack's ever suffered from a lack of confidence. He just needs to get more consistent in terms of numbers. I think he would definitely have taken that shot. He takes lots and lots of shots, sometimes not the right decision. So it comes about that decision making, and then obviously numbers to add goals and assists. I think over the course of Jack's career, that's the one thing that he's not been able to do on a consistent basis. And you look what happened with, go back to, I suppose, Louis, what happened with him here, look at what happened with Nathan at Walsall last year. In half a season, if you can get the amount of goals, based on the opportunities and the abilities Jack's got, if you can add them numbers, then quite rightly you're going to be spoken about. Hence why I said last week, important that Mal got off the mark, Woods got off the mark, now Jack's off the mark, hopefully Nathan will be off the mark soon, and we'll have goal threats at the top end of the pitch from different sources.
Lots of excitement about bringing Nathan Lowe into the club, lots of excitement about Benno Andresen, but once again it's Kyle Wootton stepping up and getting the goals for you, and great to see him getting the goals. I suppose that his performances merit.
Yeah, with Benno obviously is carrying a little bit of a niggle, and we want to make sure he's right. Nathan's a little bit short. Hopefully we get the opportunity to start him in the game on Tuesday, to try and get him up to speed. But Woods is what he is, and he has been for long before the time he came here. He can churn out 50 games a season. I've said this once before, in the next game we're on, so I hope I'm not cursing anything. He's robust, as you like. has been a 10-15 goal a season striker, was a little bit more than that in the National League, was gone from National League up to League One, and still scoring goals and being a handful, as well as a threat and a huge asset for us in both boxes. So for him to, I suppose, like you say, get those types of goals in the past 2 games is great for him, and he's got himself a little bit of a run going, so hopefully that'll continue.
6 points from 6, despite not being at your best, is obviously bodes really well for what's to come. But I guess once again, this squad has shown, as they did over the course of last season, that ability to grind results out and get it over the line when maybe you're not at 100%.
Yeah, I've just said that in there. There'll be games this season where we don't play well, and I totally understand that'll be the case in those moments. Then you do have to find a way, which we've done in the last 2 games, to be fair. But we will get better. I know that for a certainty. What we've got to do in there is understand where we're at. That we've not been at our best, so no one's celebrating anything. We know there's loads and loads more to come from us. We've got to make sure that we work hard every day to make sure that happens sooner rather than later, if you like. But in the meantime, keep trying to, when is necessary, grind out results, put the ball in good areas, commit bodies forward, create chances, take them chances. And if we have to defend, that's part and parcel. We're playing in a league where we come up against good teams. Wycombe are a good team, playing in a different way, but a really good team with good players. And at times they're going to ask you to defend. We've had to do that, and whether it be through luck or judgment, we've got away with one today. We go away with a 2-1 win away from home, which is massively important.
Quick one on Malik there on the bench today. You mentioned a fitness test. Anything to be concerned about there?
No. Again, something on the back of the game last Sunday. I felt something in training. We brought him. We were going to get him scanned, but he felt better this morning. Did a little bit, but it was always going to be using him as needs must. Ideally, didn't want to, and thankfully didn't have to. Again, maybe more by luck than judgment. So we'll try and protect him as much as possible. See how he is for Tuesday. He could do with the game. It goes without saying. We need to again get him up to speed as quickly as possible. But if that's not the case, hopefully he'll be absolutely fine.
Difficult place in terms of injuries right now. You mentioned that game on Tuesday. What sort of team can County fans expect to see?
A strong team. We want to win the game, and although we'll look at things and we won't risk any players that might have a bit of an issue, what we won't do is just make wholesale changes for the sake of it. It's our next game. Yeah, we go to Challinor next weekend, which, if you look at the scale of things, is more important. But Tuesday's our next game, and we want to put a team out, want to perform in front of our own supporters, and most importantly, want to progress.
Appreciate your time, Dave. Thank you.
Welcome. Cheers. Thank you.